Coach, is that the performance you were looking for from your team today, what you saw?
Defensively, I thought it was good to get a shutout. Wasn't the cleanest game. Offensively, way too many penalties. That's something we talked about, doing little things and not hurting ourselves. We didn't get that accomplished. Thought we did some decent things, but that was disappointing offensively.
Coach, were you referring to 3 touchdowns called back by penalties? Is that something? How do you address that in practice this week?
Yeah, we tried to address it last week, and got to continue to address it. We can't do that. Put ourselves in negative positions, 3rd and long, 2nd and long. Last week against Ole Miss, we were in 3rd and long a ton, and that's not how we want to play offense this year. So we'll keep harping on it. We'll keep finding the right guys that can go on and execute plays without committing penalties.
Was it nice to still see him scoring a couple of those after that to keep fighting and get in there?
Yeah, you want that mentality to handle the adversity of that and continue to go. But as our competition gets better, we can't continue to put ourselves in that position.
Thoughts on Allen's performance today?
He was efficient. I thought what he's done really well the last 2 games is not have negative plays, no sacks, and hasn't turned the football over. And that's what we're looking for. Be efficient, make quick decisions, and eliminate negative plays, and that gives us a chance.
With him, did you use the whole playbook?
This week. Yeah, he had all the 1 reps this week. The previous week he didn't, and so when McClain went down, obviously it was adjusted somewhat to try and do things that he was comfortable with and that we felt like he could execute, which shrunk it down some. But this week, he got all the 1 reps, and so we cut it loose.
When you, in the second half, went to some of your 2nd and 3rd and even walk-on guys defensively, could you kind of sense an initiative to keep the shutout and preserve that? Because it sure seemed like they toughened up.
Yeah, I think so. I think Coach Gibbs had done a good job of talking at halftime. Whoever goes in the game, there's a standard that we expect you to play at. And so I felt like some of those 2s and 3s that got in handled their business, and that's what we were looking for.
Coach, Tony Jones made some plays throughout the game, and including the sack. What do you think about his performance?
Yeah, Tony's gotten better and better since he's been here. Last year I felt like it was moving pretty fast for him, and this year he seems to understand the scheme, and he's very athletic off the edge, seems to always get his hands on the football, and so we just got to keep progressing. Him and Colin are a nice 1-2 punch there at that rush, and so hopefully he continues to evolve and continues to make plays.
And we also saw the freshman backs a lot in this game. Just what do you think about them?
Yeah, we set DeLeon and Trey, and so we felt like we wanted to get them going. They both do different things well. Sroderick's a bigger back, and Tay is kind of a scat back, and so we try to play to their strengths, and I thought they made some decent plays. A couple times they did some stuff you'd like to have back, but they're getting better.
Coach, were DeLeon and Trey able to go, or did they? Was there some reason they didn't?
Yeah, DeLeon could have. Trey couldn't. I expect them both to be back quickly, but we just wanted to be smart with DeLeon.
So what's the severity of Trey's injury?
Not very. It was kind of just wanted to give them a few days off here through the weekend to get back for next week.
What was the reason that Vasher didn't play early on?
I just wanted to change some things up. He'll play moving forward, but Daquan has done a good job, and so got him some reps early.
Coach, on the 66-yard touchdown pass to Wesley, that looked like a ball that could have been intercepted. Was that a mistake that worked out, or was there something good that Bowman did on that play?
Yeah, they played cover 0, and so he knows that if they're in that pressure look, that DB is going to expect the ball out quick, so he didn't back up much, and he saw his one-on-one, which he had, but he needed to know that guy wasn't going to back up much, and the ball placement was good, or else it would have been picked, and then so it's something he'll learn from and move forward, but we'll take the result of it. I think if you can learn from it and still have a positive play, that's a win-win.
After watching Bowman and Duffy today, as much as they played, does that make your decision for starting quarterback going forward harder or easier?
I will have to watch the film and see, but you want to get both those guys as many reps as possible. You want to get McClain as many reps as possible. They're all 3. Haven't played a ton of college football, but all 3 capable, and that's what I've said all along. And so we just got to continue when we get a chance to rep all 3, and it just makes the whole room better.
So what is the status on McClain right now?
We'll see. It's still day to day. I don't have an answer. He looks better than he did last week at this time, and hopefully he progresses again through next week.
How do you think Jeff handled himself?
He's explosive. He can do different things. He's got a great arm, very talented. The one interception, we can't throw that. It was an easy read, but he made some great plays there that not many people can make, so he's just got to keep coming.
Which one of the three quarterbacks that was in today did you see was most impressive, or were they each impressive in their own way?
Yeah, I'll have to watch the film and really evaluate it, but the big deal to me was just not turning the ball over, protecting the football, and making quick decisions. And I think Allen did a nice job of that, of having no negative plays.
What were your thoughts on DeMarcus Felton, his performance today?
It was good to see him get as many reps as he did and find the end zone a couple times. He's a hard worker, has been, waited his turn here, and shows up, does everything right each and every day. And so you always want to cheer for a guy like that.
What do you think of what DeQuan Bowman gave you in the return game again with the big punt return today?
Yeah, that's same with Felton. It's a guy who's stuck around for 3 years and now getting an opportunity to kind of show what he can do. It's 2 big returns in 2 games, and hopefully that continues. He can play any receiver spot. He gives us that return game aspect, and so he's really been a key component to our offense and special teams.
Did you think the defense was feeling a little more as far as the turnovers went?
I think so. I mean, that's something we harp on, and there are a couple nice plays, getting hands on footballs and getting it out, and we got to continue to do that as the season goes. We know we have a great team coming in next week, very explosive offense, playing at a high level, had a big win today, and so we're going to have to play our best next week.
So the new rule changes this offseason, allowing players, I believe, to play 4 games before they, still be able to redshirt. How many doors did that open, you think, for guys possibly today who would have not had the chance to play if you were trying to redshirt them, but maybe could get into this game?
Yeah, there were some that we took advantage of that, and some you kind of want to wait and see how it plays out late in the year, so you don't use all those games up when you may need them towards the end of the year when you have some attrition. And so there were definitely a couple guys that, because of that rule, were able to get some live game experience today, which is key. You can't simulate that.
What do you think of Dominic's punting performance today?
It was much improved. He's got to continue to do that. He can be a big weapon, not only in the open field, but when we're down there close. He has a good touch down there for those pooch punts, and he's got to continue to be consistent.
Coach, Hatfield kicking off this year as opposed to Barden. What's your thought on that? Is it because you can kick the ball higher or get it downfield more? Or?
Yeah, I think we're trying to get a lot of height on it and cover it, and he gives us that, and I think it keeps him in the game, keeps him warm and locked in, and he seems to like being able to do both. So we'll keep rolling with that for the time being.
Kliff, after Jet had, 2 or 3 big runs today, breaks up a couple, 2 or 3 for a pretty good distance. Some folks would say, could you at least give Jet a package of plays to take advantage of what he can do with his legs? Is that something you would consider, or is that kind of early since all these guys are so young? You wouldn't want to necessarily disrupt one guy to.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line. I don't know if it's a disruption, but there is a fine line of making sure that you have a good flow and a good rhythm, whoever the starter is. But Jet has that capability to do some unique things, and as the season goes on, we'll see where that goes.
Is it impressive that the defense held them to a shutout today?
Anytime you get a shutout at this level, I mean, you're doing something right. I mean, we know that team was definitely overmatched, but you got to tip your hat to any time you keep them off the scoreboard at all. You're doing something right.
How's it help having a shutout against a team that scored 70 points the week before?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a mismatch. I mean, Coach Schultz trying to build that deal, and they had an opponent last week that they overmatched, and so I don't know how much we can actually take from it. But like I mentioned, we kept them off the scoreboard, so you got to tip your hat to our defense.
You talk about the mismatch. How much can you actually, as a team that is overmatching them, take away from a game like this?
I mean, you still got to go out there and execute plays, and the lights are on and people in the stands, and you, like I've said all along, you can't simulate those type of game reps. So we have young quarterbacks that needed game reps. We have some young backups that needed to get out there and execute our offense and our defense, and so you take it for what it is, but you can't simulate game reps. So more than anything, you're just happy they got some in-game experience.
If the league ever decided to go away from FCS games completely, what would your thoughts be on that?
I mean, I think it'd be fine. I don't know how that works. I think it's good for those FCS programs. I mean, they make a lot of money this way, but whatever the league wants to do.
So watching all three of those quarterbacks that were in today, is that something you were more going for? Was the dual threat, both the running and the passing?
I mean, if you can have one that's really dynamic at both, that's what you're shooting for, I'd say. And you know, all of the quarterbacks on our roster are athletic enough to keep it, and do something with their legs, and so we're trying to kind of build our offense around that.
You have to be pleased with their performance. I mean, 30 to 35, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. We just, you know, there's an expectation to execute at that level, and when people are open, you hit them, and they were open today for a myriad of reasons, but they did hit them. So.
With in the first half, when we got close to that 2-minute warning and y'all were calling timeouts to stop it before the 2-minute warning, what was kind of your mindset there? Because that's something that we typically don't see from this team when we're that far ahead. What was kind of your mindset?
Getting 2-minute work with a young quarterback, you know, same deal. In-game situation, working a 2-minute drive with a true freshman quarterback who's never done that before. That's what we wanted in that situation.
Kliff, how severe is Travis Bruffy's injury?
We'll see. I think he should be back sooner than later, but it's a day-to-day deal.
Did he hurt that in the game last week?
He did.